What is going on, YouTube? This is Jim back with another video. Today we're taking a look at an unboxing video actually of the Dolby Atmos enabled Plantronics RIG 800LXs. Now these headphones came out about a year ago or so. I just picked them up as part of FanFest. And one of the really cool things that FanFest always does is they have a box of loot. The infamous loot backpack that they give away, as I struggle to open this box, a loot backpack that they give away every single year, which includes lots of various goodies. And this year included a set of these headphones. Now, I have wanted a pair of wireless headphones for quite some time, so I'm really happy that this was included in the bag. Now, these work for your Xbox One and for your Windows-based computer. Now, what I like about them is two things. Number one, they're wireless. Number two, they have a built-in battery. And I was actually, as I had to take a little over 5.5 hour flight to get to Los Angeles from Orlando to fly to E3, I was looking into wireless headphones, and these actually came up on my list, but I ended up not getting any, and I'm glad I didn't because now I have a pair to take a look at with you guys. So let's go ahead and open up the box and let's take a look at what's inside. No frills here, nothing out of the ordinary. I do like that they spent a little extra time putting some of this hard plastic around them. I say that because Customs decided to toss our bags, and we checked in a lot of stuff, and they were pretty rough with all of our gear. So I'm happy, even though the box took a little bit of damage, the headphones appear to be in pretty good shape on the inside. So let's go ahead and take a look at these bad boys and let's see what's in the box. First and foremost, we have the actual headphones. Now, what I mentioned before that I like is the fact that they are wireless. Another thing that I like, I believe I'm supposed to cut this off, yes. Another thing that I like about them is that they have this built-in headband here, which I'll talk about in a second. But before we deep dive into the headphones, let's take a look at what else is in the box. You are also getting the wireless module. Now, this is supposed to be plug and play, and what I decided on this video I'm going to do is it's going to be in two parts to be transparent to you, but to me, I'm going to actually go ahead and open this up and show you all the contents, and then I'm going to put them through their paces, and then I'll follow up with a little video addition at the end of this video to tell you kind of my final thoughts. But for now, let's just go ahead and look at all the goodies that are inside, and then we can talk about performance in a little bit. Now, one of the things, this is everything, right? Just user manuals and stuff. Yep, okay. Get all that out of the way. Now, one of the things that this headset does that I really like is it includes the Dolby Atmos sound tuning. Now, Xbox sells this Dolby Atmos from their store for $15. So if you want to enable Dolby Atmos on your headphones, you have to pay $15. And the nice thing is they give you a code to redeem it. I'm pretty sure I already have Dolby Atmos enabled on my headphones from a previous Plantronics headset that I got in the past that I never really used. I'll have to look and see. This might already be in my account. If it isn't, I'll be doing a giveaway for this at some point. So you don't need them for the headphones, but it enables a little bit nicer sound tuning, and I think that's something that if you're going to use headphones, and you know, I like to use my surround sound, but if you're going to use headphones, it's definitely something you're going to want to invest some money into. You also get a charging cable to charge the headphones. It doesn't come with a brick, unfortunately. It is the USB, it's not USB-C, it's the other USB type. So I have plenty of these laying around, but it doesn't come with a power brick. So keep that in mind. You're going to have to either use an outlet like I have built into the wall, or you're going to have to use a different power brick to get a charge. We have the actual wireless module. Now this plugs into your computer or your Xbox, and this is what the headphones actually talk to. So let's take a look at how long this cable is. First of all, pretty decent length for a, I'm looking more from the sense of I'm going to plug this in the back of my Xbox, and then I'm going to have this wrap around easy enough to access. There's a button here. This is the pairing button. So what you're going to do is you're going to press the pairing button, and that's going to actually enable the headphones to communicate to the receiver. You also have on the top a toggle switch that shows a picture of an Xbox One controller or PC. So you flip the switch, you plug it in, and you're off to the races. Now, the big item, obviously, being the headphones themselves. And what I had mentioned before, what I really like about these headphones is that they include a band here. So a lot of times, this has to rest against your head. And if you got a big old noggin like me, this plastic gets extremely uncomfortable. So what they've put in here is this elastic headband piece in here. You can see me flexing it with my hand. This is actually what's going to be resting against your head, and I like that because this is going to give you a much more custom fit, and it's also a soft material, which I think is something that's really, really important. The cups are made of just this felt kind of cloth. Now, what I like about them, sometimes you get these headsets that have this hard plastic, and they flake off. I used to have an old pair of Koss headphones back in college, and everybody made fun of me because when I would be done playing, I had these little black specks around my ears and my neck. Now, these are completely made of cloth. I don't see these flaking off or pilling. Thank you, Chloe. I don't see these flaking off or pilling anytime soon, so that's something that's really, really nice. You also have a boom microphone here, which when is pulled up all the way, I can feel the click. You might be able to hear it. That actually goes into mute, so if you are playing and you get wife aggro or you don't want to talk to your friends, you just flip it up and you are radio silent. All of the controls are on the back of the left cup here. Let me look at these really quickly. Okay. So they're actually very self-explanatory. Hopefully this is a good shot. The top icon there is a picture of an Xbox controller, and then below that is a picture of people. So this is your chat depending on if you want full game volume or full party volume or somewhere in between. And you can adjust that on the fly, which is a really, really nice feature to have. The second setting down is your off and on, which is your pairing mode. So it's just a switch that you toggle between off and on. And below that is the master volume, which is a plus and minus. So you scroll this wheel up and down for whether you want more volume or less volume. Down at the very, very bottom there is your connector for your built-in charge. So if you flip these on, I guess they come dead. I don't see any power happening. So I was going to flip them on so you guys could see, but I guess you need to charge them. Another thing that they have added that I saw is the cups. So let me see if I can figure this out really quickly. The cups actually have 3 settings on them. If you could see that there. Right now they're in the middle setting. These cups actually pop out of the headphones entirely, and they can be slid up or down to give you a little bit nicer fit. Because really, if you look at it, when you put these on, there's really not much adjustment here. The headband is going to go around your head, and these cups are, there's not really a lot of toggling up and down. A lot of headphones have a piece of metal, some sort of metal sleeve that connects into the side here that actually slides up and down to allow for a little bit tighter fit. This one actually uses a predetermined method of distance that you have to use. Now, I could say that that's an interesting idea, but I worry, for my wife in particular, that these are not the best terms of adjustments. I would like something a little more granular. So I would like something where I could adjust it a little bit more in between one or the other. You can also see that the headset band, if you want it to, does actually come off, and you can adjust that by, actually you don't even adjust it, it just sits in there. So there's just a little tension piece here that pops out, and then this piece can be removed if for whatever reason these are not big enough for your head and this isn't enough. You could actually take this piece out and just have the plastic here. All in all, I think they're okay. I mean, they're definitely on the cheaper end in terms of wireless headphones. Most good wireless headphones with good noise cancellation and a nice boom microphone will set you back over $250. These are in the $150 price range, so it's a little bit cheaper, but I'll have to wait and see and tell you guys how the sound quality is. So with that, I'm gonna stop this video briefly. I'm going to go play, and maybe tonight or tomorrow I will come back and give you guys my full report on what I think of these. So with that, stand by. I'll be back in a little bit. All right, I am back with some closing thoughts on this very headset. Now, as I had mentioned before, let me go show you guys with it on. As I had mentioned before, I was a little concerned with the way that the cups didn't have a fluid adjustment on the band. As I showed in my video before, these do pop in and out. They only have 3 presets though, so if this doesn't feel good for you, you have to move up to the next preset. Most headsets have an elastic band across the sides that allows you to fine tune. Sometimes there are predetermined clicks, but with this particular headset, there's only 3 settings. So please keep that in mind because of that, you don't get a whole lot of adjustment to it. Now, you guys might be able to tell, I do have a little bit of room here. So this plastic headband piece is not actually touching against my head. It's actually this felt piece here that does pop in and out. As I had mentioned, if you don't want it on, I think you're going to want it though. I found that it was comfortable and very snug, and it did a good job of keeping my headset in place as I turned my head and yelled at my competition with the headset enabled. Now, I did have to download that Dolby Atmos app. I did not have it. I thought I did before. One of the cool things with that Dolby Atmos app is that it shows you what games are enabled. And one of the games that was enabled for the Dolby Atmos sound is Gears of War 4, which I loaded up. There's also some other demos inside of the app as well that show you what it sounds like with and without Dolby Atmos. Be aware though that there is another headset option called Windows Sonos, which is a free variant of surround sound. I found it was severely lacking in quality to the standard volume setting, or I'm sorry, the standard headphone setting. Then I switched over to the Dolby Atmos. Now, when I normally play games, I play on a 5.1 Bose surround sound, and it sounds phenomenal. It's got a very, very big subwoofer in the corner. I've got the 5 satellite speakers all around me, pretty much equidistant from where I sit in the center. I've really fine-tuned the volume on the background surround sound, and I say that because it's a very true 5.1 surround sound system. Now, the whole idea with headphones, you only have 2 ears, obviously. You have 1 cup for each side. Dolby Atmos attempts to simulate that by giving you some sound that bounces from more of the back or more of the front or from the top or the bottom of the headphone to give you a more full surround sound experience. Well, I can say from my experience that it actually sounds pretty good. Now, it does not sound as good as my 5.1 Bose surround sound, but for the price I paid, I would not expect any less. That said, I understand, 1, not everybody has the room to set up a 5.1 surround sound, and 2, most people probably don't have a dedicated gaming room like me where I can crank this up. My wife is on the other side of the house downstairs, and I don't bother her at all, even with this thing cranked up to like 30 or 40, which is window vibrating volume. Doesn't bother her at all. So if I was in a smaller place, or if I was in a confined space where she was maybe sitting next to me, you know, in an office, or if I was in a smaller game room or sitting downstairs, headphones definitely would be the way to go. And that said, these actually sounded pretty good. I really was surprised by what Dolby Atmos was able to provide. And I do know that the Plantronics are more budget-friendly headsets. Not to say $150 is cheap by any stretch of the imagination. The quality is definitely here. One of the things I didn't mention before, but I'll mention now, is that the sides are all plastic. A lot of times you see headphones that have just a single piece that looks like a letter Y upside down, which connects to the cup. This actually has a snap-in piece that's actually pretty tough to get in. The actual cup is connected by these wires here. And it's got some rigidity to it, and I like that. These are heavy duty in the sense that these aren't going to break easily, and a lot of people have problems with headphones. The other thing is, because the band is heavy duty and it's got some structure to it, it doesn't have a lot of flex to it, and since you're putting most of the tension on this center felt piece here, you're not going to get a lot of tension on here. And I think, I mean, I've only been wearing these now for maybe 2 hours playing some Gears of War 4. I think these are going to last a long time. So the workmanship and the quality is absolutely there. And I think that's really important when you think about what kind of headphones you want to get. Think about how the cups attach to the band, because that's really important. Now, the sound was really good. I was definitely able to tell the simulated surround sound by hearing teammates behind me, in front of me, to the left, to the right. I did a lot of sightseeing on my Gears of War 4 playthrough, which probably ticked off my teammates, but it was useful because it really did help me pinpoint sound. And I could close my eyes and I could envision the battlefield through my ears. And I think that's going to give most players a competitive advantage in multiplayer games, because I was very quickly able to determine where enemies were, not just in terms of left or right, but in depth. And I think that's something that my Bose surround sound does very well. But I think that these headphones also do that very well too. So I loved the sound portion of it, and I was really impressed. The volume settings on the side that I showed earlier between game volume and sound volume with your party also worked really well. I was able to adjust the volume if I was having a hard time hearing my teammates, or if I had some annoying teammates, crank it all the way over to the game volume and they were very quiet in the background. I also like the just master volume, because when you crank these things up, they are loud. And I'm not talking about any of the editing, I'm not talking about any of the settings inside of the Xbox One X. I'm talking just in pure volume here. If you crank these things up full blast and you wear them around your neck here, it's still really loud. Now, obviously, there's really no reason to do that, because you're going to lose your ability of the Dolby Atmos surround sound, but boy, these things really are loud. And I had my wife sit up here next to me just for a few minutes. And I had, hey, can you just sit here? And I'm going to play this on with these mastered, like full blown. Tell me how bad the sound leaks. And she said it wasn't as bad as some of my other headphones. I have a pair of Sennheiser HD 598s downstairs that I use almost exclusively for my computer gaming, and those are open headphones, and they're very loud to everybody else around me. A lot of times I actually bleed my sound back into my microphone, and my teammates say, hey, you gotta lower your sound a little bit, or dork around with your microphone settings. With these, there was no bleed through, and I even asked some of my teammates, hey, I'm gonna crank this things up, can you guys hear? So when I have my headphones on with the microphone enabled, even though I had to pull it a little bit closer to my mouth, they were not able to hear the sound through. So that is a great thing. There are a lot of cheap headphones that bleed sound horribly, and you hear yourself in this infinite repetitive loop. Now, one thing these headphones did that I thought was a little odd is the microphone does play back, so you do hear yourself talking very faintly, and that's something you're going to have to get used to. A lot of high-end microphones do have a monitor service on them. My Blue Yeti has one of those where you can plug the headphones in and hear what it sounds like to other players. Now, it's a little odd to get used to, but I think it's not going to really trip you up. It's not one of those things where you're going to talk, hear yourself, and stop talking. It's faint enough, but it is there. So just be wary of that. Lastly, the microphone itself, the quality was not quite there. I did a couple of test messages to my friends, and while other players were able to hear me, they said I sounded a little muddier and a little less clear than I did when I pulled out my OG Xbox headphones, the one that just has a single cup with the cheap plastic band and a little boom microphone. So in terms of microphone quality, this does seem to be lacking. I did play around with the Xbox One settings, trying to see if I could find anything that would make it sound better, any kind of volume increasing or whatever, but I wasn't able to find anything. Now, I assume on the computer side, you're probably going to have a little bit better luck because you have more settings with a PC, but just keep that in mind. If these are going to be your primary gaming headphones for your Xbox One console, and you do a lot of streaming or you do a lot of party chat, just beware the quality isn't quite there. But when you knock this boom out of the way and you're just focusing on the headphones as advertised, I think these things work really well. And it's actually something that I will probably use from time to time because it does give you a very immersive experience. I wish the bass was a little bit better, but I think all in all, these are really good headphones. They run about $150 from what I can tell on Best Buy or Amazon or whatever. And I think it's not a bad price. I haven't really tested them outside of just my limited time with Gears of War 4. But I can say that I do understand the Dolby Atmos technology, and I am a believer in these. So if you're looking for a pair of wireless headphones where you can sit, you don't have to have the cord dangling down to your controller or running to your Xbox One, or if you're a PC user and you have headphones there and they're wrapping around your chair leg, or your dog, like me, my poor dog's constantly tripping over my corded headphones, poor thing, and you're looking for a nice wireless solution and you don't want to break the bank, I highly recommend these. These are the Plantronics RIG 800LXs. They'll set you back about $150, and they do come with that Dolby Atmos code for your Xbox One X. And I highly recommend that you guys install that service and give it a whirl. With that, I'm going to close out this video. Hope you found it informative. Thanks once again to FanFest for hooking me up with these bad boys. And thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you made it to the end, consider commenting, rating, and subscribing. But if not, that's okay too. Thank you guys so much for watching. Take care of yourselves. And until next time, I will see you guys on the other side.